Bishop Jeff Coleman here. So glad that you've jumped back on today, 5 Minute Friday. So I want to talk today about how do I know when I have truly forgiven someone. Again, these questions are so good that are coming in. This was just written today. And I want you guys to know that I, as a leader, as a pastor, as a bishop, I have to deal with these things. I'm a person too, and sometimes we question, we think, oh, I've forgiven that person, but then that person might walk in the room and you're like, oh, maybe I haven't. So let me give you 5 ways that you can begin to evaluate where you are in forgiveness in a situation. So number 1, when you have the first thought about someone, is it about what they did to you or just about them? So one thing you can begin to think about, you should be able to have a normal thought about a person occasionally without thinking about what they did to you. That's how you could begin to know, hey, I'm just thinking about that person instead of thinking what they did to me, how they hurt me, what they did against me. Once you just start thinking, hey, I wonder how so-and-so's doing today. That's a good way to know that maybe I'm getting in forgiveness now. Maybe I forgive them. So that's a good evaluation point. So this is how can you know, right? That's the question, how do I know? So number 2, ask yourself, would you help them if you knew they were in trouble? I know that's not, you're like, oh no. If you begin to, that's how you know, you're like, hey, if that person needed help today, would I go help them? You probably cared about this person at one point, but would you help them at all now? That would be another way to tell. So you can evaluate, be honest with yourself. Hey, would I actually go help this person today if they were struggling, going through something? And maybe your motive for going to do it, like if you showed up and you're like, I told you so, then hey, you probably know you hadn't forgiven that person yet. So number 3, can you think positive thoughts about this person? Can there be thoughts that go through your head that you're thinking, oh, I hope they're doing well. I hope things are turning around for them. I hope they found a new church. I hope their family's happy. So are you thinking positive thoughts? One way to know. So the question was, how do I know I have truly forgiven someone? So can I think positive thoughts? Number 4, do you still think of getting even? When you think about the person, do you think, boy, I want to get even, or I want to get back at them? There may be consequences that need to come to this person, and you may have to see them through to protect others, but does your heart want to hurt this person? Would you call it forgiveness? So, guys, do you still think about getting even? You need to ask yourself that question. Am I really forgiving this person? Number 5, when you have stopped looking for them to fail. When you truly forgive someone, you're not going to want to see them fail. You're not going to want the worst for that person. So, forgiveness is very important. Mark 11:25 says, and whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also who is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. When you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone. That's even the people who've hurt you. So these questions, these 5 things that we need to be kind of litmus tests for our life, you need to really evaluate that. Another one, Colossians 3:13 says, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord also has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. A lot of people believe that forgiveness is access back into your life. And we're not talking about access. All of these things are very important for you to understand. We're not talking about access, we're talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't always mean access. Forgiveness is release. Go back to thinking positive thoughts about someone. Back to hoping well and good for their life. It shows where your heart is. It may not show where theirs is, but it shows where yours is. I hope you take this word today and apply it to your life. Again, thank you for jumping on 5 Minutes Friday.